Welcome back to Live Impact News, just past 1:32 here in the Impact Studio. I'm Julie Kay. We want to get out to one of our reporter stories of the day. Of course, everyone's excited for Christmas. All the kids are going to be going to bed early so they can wake up as early as possible, open up their presents under the tree. A lot of electronics that might be involved in that, but we do want to be aware of online safety as we get these new electronics, as technology develops. That's why we have our Jesse Pierre, who's been talking to child advocacy experts, technology experts about what parents need to know as we start the gifting process. That might include some new iPads, new iPhones, Jesse.
Exactly. Like you said, obviously a lot of kids, teens, they use those devices, cell phones, computers, tablets, iPads. I mean, the list goes on, right? To connect with friends and to also build community. However, there are some dangers and strangers online that they also can open the risk of connecting with. And I spoke with Pat's Place, they're a child advocacy center, and they kind of spoke to me about different advice and things parents should know. First off, age appropriate, but you should start having conversations about the strangers, the dangers behind the screen very early on. Again, someone can be a really good actor, and these predators are very skilled at pretending they are someone they are not, pretending and, trying to be your friend, pretending to be a kid. You're a 14-year-old and you think you're communicating with a 14-year-old on a gaming system, but it's an adult who is trying to build your trust. And the next thing you know, they're asking you for personal information and things like that. One of the things that Mary Catherine Elkins with the organization says, it's important for parents to make sure their kids know not to share personal information, personal details, things like your address, your email address. It also means not sharing too much about your family, right? If someone's trying to, is a predator, who knows what kind of things they can use as far as information about where your parents work and so forth to find out where you live. She also talks about the importance of not sharing personal images. You may think, whether or not this is a stranger, but you never know where a photo can end up. So private photos, even you think you're sending it to a partner, or you might have a relationship in high school and so forth. But again, they might lose their phone. Their phone can get hacked, and again, you just don't know where that phone can end. That picture can end up at the end of the day. Um, Another thing she talks about too is, it's easy, we're using online and social media to connect and make friends all the time. So, you make a friend online and it's like, oh, let's meet up at this party. And it seems very natural. And she really talks about making sure to trust your instincts. And again, not everyone is who they say they are. So a lot of good advice, a lot of different things for parents to keep in mind, especially as kids are getting more connected. I did speak to a couple of parents. One parent said his advice, put the devices away. He said he's sick of kids on their phones all day and so forth. But a lot of parents I spoke to say they're using parental controls and restrictions, so they know what apps their children are visiting. And also, just kind of like when you ask your child, "Hey, how was soccer today?" Also, how was online today? If you were on Facebook, who'd you speak to? Who were you connecting with? What games were you playing? Did you make any friends there? Making that part of the daily conversations, because the stronger the relationship you build with your kids, the easier and more comfortable they'll speak with you if there's ever an issue that comes up.
Yeah, and that makes sense too. I think it's funny what you said about the parent saying, just get off the phone. But, kids are even getting access to this in school. Of course, when you have a Chromebook or something like that, technology in school, it's very restricted. But it is part of life now. It's part of education now. And so it's hard to avoid it, even if they're not getting technology on Christmas.
Exactly. iPads. I mean, I see the kids with the iPads all day, and they're playing with the iPad, but you never know if they click on something else, and so it's just about making sure it's all about awareness.
Absolutely. Well, Jesse, we'll have your story again at 4, 5, and 6. We'll let you get back to working on that, but thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Julie. Bye.